Now you can see here Rep. Nancy Mace walking out of the meeting with the Epstein survivors.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranad. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, also educate each and every one of ours, you guys are the real everything. So lovelies. I came across this video right for you and I thought to share how internet is reacting to the fact that the representative Nancy actually was seen walking out from these Epstein survivors with all panic written all over her face. People are calling her out, talking about how she is exactly what she don't want to be. Like in the sense that she actually supported this man, to the fact that she is a Republican, but right about now having emotional breakdown, crying as if she don't know what these people have been doing or have done. Like, lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. All right, lovelies,
Now
let's
you can
dive
see
into
here
it.
Rep. Nancy Mace walking out of the meeting with the Epstein survivors. I mean, she genuinely looked upset. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm sure hearing the stories of these now grown women talking about what happened to them when they were just girls was quite upsetting. But in true Nancy Mace style, it didn't take long for her to respond to our reaction. Nancy Mace said, "Since it's already being reported, yes, I left the oversight briefing with Epstein victims early. As a recent survivor, not 2 years in, I had a very difficult time listening to their stories. Full-blown panic attack, sweating, hyperventilating, shaking, I can't breathe. Wow, that sounds terrible. I feel the immense pain of how hard all victims are fighting for themselves because we know absolutely no one will fight for us. God bless all survivors." Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally have a really difficult time believing anybody who claims to be a victim like Nancy Mace when they voted for, work for, and support a literal adjudicated abuser and accused P to the O. And, you know, just a reminder, I actually have receipts. So just remember, they're going to tell you that the E. Jean Carroll jury said, no, it wasn't the R word. But then the next question they answered yes to. So can you just ask them what the difference between number 2 and number 1 is for me? Thanks. So just to be clear, I really make a habit out of believing victims and women when they come forward. But I really, really struggle to believe a woman when they literally are looking down on other victims. You know, and you couldn't even muster up the strength to sit through those women's stories. You should have sat there. And the reason you should have sat there, Nancy, is because you're part of the reason that they aren't getting the accountability and the closure that they want. Because you're supporting the person that is either withholding or really cleansing the files. So, you know, I'm sorry. You're crying because you know that you're part of the problem. You're crying because you know that you're covering up for the person that is doing the things to the women that you just heard their stories. That's why you're upset. That's why you're crying. And now you're trying to throw the victim card not even an hour later. So, typical Nancy Mace. So, as always, much love, keep fighting, and I'll see y'all at work.
Nancy Mace is like the epitome of white woman. And then the tears yesterday. Because, like, it has to be about her. She has to be front and center. There were too many victims in there. Nancy Mace needed to be the top victim. I don't give a fuck if that sounds mean, because Nancy Mace has been a disgusting troll to the trans population of this country. And she hasn't just been carrying water for the patriarchy and white supremacy. She cleaned its feet and anointed it with oil.
Was Nancy Mace after coming out of a meeting with the Jeffrey Epstein victim. A couple other congressmen sat down with the Jeffrey Epstein victims to hear their story and hear what they got to say, and that was her after she obviously visibly upset. And rightfully so. It's a terrible thing. She then addressed it because of course it's being reported on, because of course she knew that there was going to be cameras outside of that room when she left. She was so upset. She stated that after, as a recent survivor, I had a very difficult time listening to their stories, full-blown panic attacks, sweating, hyperventilating, shaking. I can't breathe. Fair enough. I mean, fair enough, but maybe then you should be in therapy and not in Congress. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. A ton of other people seem to think that Nancy Mace made this entire situation about herself. Savannah Hernandez says it's not actually insane how impossible it is for you to not make every situation about yourself. So then she states, so you're telling me you can sit across from Epstein victims who are heartbroken and distraught and have been for 30 years and feel no pain? No, probably not, but I can put myself back to fucking together before I walk in front of a bunch of fucking cameras that I know are going to be live streaming across the nation. Pull yourself together, Nancy. We all got trauma, but we aren't all on a national stage representing the people of this great country. What's fucking more wild is there are people in her comments that are stating, see, this is why women can't be in Congress. And you know what? I'm inclined to fucking believe them. If you can't pull your shit together long enough from walk from one room to the fucking next when you knew that there was going to be cameras all over the place, then you shouldn't be there. You made that situation all about yourself. You didn't make it about the victims. It wasn't about the victims. And the people are hot. The Nancy Mace bots or fucking fans or whatever, they're in my comments and they're defending her. You should show her some fucking give her a break. She can only do so much. Pam Bondi is the one that actually has the power. The power of accountability. You mean, then what in the hell is Congress doing having all these hearings and these special committees? Then why even have the hearings if you can't do anything? Why are you still having them? Why are we still paying you to have them? Why are we still paying you to sit on these committees and dig up all this information and come out and have these theatrical performances on the floor of Congress if you can't do anything about it? I'm going to follow this up by showing you this. Because shortly before, shortly after, okay, Congress came out, that same committee came out and they're like, we're releasing the files, we can't take it anymore. And they're all fucking redacted. Everybody's names are redacted. Everybody's names. Yes, redact the victims. But I want to know, who are the victims talking to? Who is making these phone calls? Who is intimidating the witnesses? Why are you redacting dates, for crying out loud? And I'm sorry, I know that a lot of you are going to be super duper pissed about this, but I'm going to stand by what I said. All this time, after all this reporting, after all this time that a lot of these victims from Jeffrey Epstein's Island have been screaming on social media for justice, you can't handle it, and you have to go in front of a camera and look all, you can't pull yourself to fucking together and be the rock of the room that them victims need, then you shouldn't be in that position at all. You should be in therapy. Shouldn't be running for governor. You're not mentally fit enough to run for governor if you haven't dealt with what happened. You need to heal before you can lead. You're not in a position to lead, not at all. Wasn't it just 2 weeks ago when you announced your run for governor, you were posting pictures like this? Nancy Mace has great genes. You know what you were doing in this picture. How are you going to flip-flop so much? You either stand whole with respecting women, or you keep posting pictures like this glorifying the sexualization of them. You don't get both.
Messages for Nancy Mace, who had a very human moment today, having a panic attack after listening to the Epstein victims testify on their abusers, aka Donald John Trump, the President of the United States, whom she has voted to protect over and over and over again. Your panic attack is because you are a rape survivor and you know how disgusting and vile this is, that you are helping the abusers, not the victims. Feel it. And you deserve a hell of a lot more. Start voting with the victims. You're a disgusting piece of shit, Nancy. This message...
Oh, Nancy Mace Pepper Face. Was it hearing from the actual victims that made you so upset? Because since you've been in office, I have not seen any type of sympathy or empathy from you. You've always presented as like a strong woman. What happened? Was it hearing from the actual victims that made you actually upset? Because the little Meryl Streep show that you gave, I'm so filled with emotions. I can't bear this. I can't breathe. What was it? This the same lady that told Jasmine Crockett to meet her outside. What was it? Anyways, yeah. Nancy, go take some acting classes because that wasn't it. And your little white tears aren't doing it for me.
So I just had a very weird, unusual experience. We're standing in front of the Longworth building, one of the House office buildings, and I noticed this woman in the corner was not doing okay. And someone walked by and said, "That's Nancy Mace. I think she's having a panic attack." And sure enough, I went and I kind of looked and I had my camera up a little bit. I got out of the corner of the camera. And then she came out and she said, "Please, will you please just respect my privacy?" And guess what? I'm going to respect her privacy. But I will tell you that she was upset, she said, because of the Epstein victims. And she said just listening to them, she said it's overwhelming as someone who has been a victim are a survivor of sexual abuse, and I said to her, I am also a survivor. Transparency is important. I don't think people should have any sort of feel in a certain kind of way because you had a panic attack about it. It's kind of happens. That happens. And so she just said, please respect my privacy, and who's going to fight for us? And she wants the Epstein files released. And she says, I'm on the bill. I'm on the record saying that she wants the Epstein files released. And then she said, just please respect my privacy. And then she got in her car right here and drove away. So I'm going to respect her privacy. But yeah, Nancy Mace, I saw her right there in the corner having a panic attack. She told me it was because of the listening to the Epstein victims. That was it.
It's very clear to me why Massey, Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert are involved with this group of survivors and this press conference today, because there was a reporter who just asked about 5 minutes ago if any of them had seen Epstein and Trump together in the course of their unfortunate incident situations, their assaults. And none of them got to answer because either an attorney or another representative jumped in and said, we're not making this political. This isn't about calling out Donald Trump. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it should be about, because if the president of the United States was involved with a sexual predator in the course of his crimes, then not only should the president be called out, the president should be removed from office. Period. End of story. Mace, Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Boebert are just there to protect Trump, and it's fucking sick.
Nancy Mace having a panic attack after hearing from survivors of the Epstein ring. Her panic attack is proof of the moral conundrum that occurs when you are a collaborator, when you forfeit what you know to be true, your own identity, your own experiences, and you just put all that shit to the side in the name of a proximity to power, in the name of a piece of the pie. Nancy was raped in high school. It caused her to drop out of high school. Her congressional career is largely built on her vile rhetoric, what you would know her for, like it, if you're familiar, is her disgusting, the way she speaks about trans people. Every time Mace speaks on trans people, she speaks about trans folks as if they are sexual deviants, as if it is just a whole bunch of, this shit is so that you could get in the girl's bathroom. Nancy, you and I both know intimately, if somebody wants to do harm to women and girls, they don't need to do all that shit. They don't need to go through being a pariah, getting kicked out the crib. Like, they don't need to go through these struggles that come with a trans person's existence. If somebody really wants to do harm to women and girls, they just do it. But for her, it's easier to have a scapegoat than to acknowledge the truth. And the truth is, ain't no monsters hiding under the bed. They're in Congress with you, Nancy. And you know that. That's why you had a panic attack. Because you know this shit all too well. And then you voted against the release of the files. A betrayal to your fellow survivors. I hope the piece of the pie is great.
So I just saw an interesting video of Don Lemon standing outside of Congress, and apparently there was a woman outside who was shaking and crying and appearing to have some sort of panic attack. And she asked Don to respect her privacy, and since he's a gentleman, he did. Even though that lady is Nancy Mace, and she's the worst person in the world. But apparently she had just come out from having the behind closed door meeting that Congress people had with Epstein's victims. I think they met with 6 of them today. And apparently it was pretty bad what they had to say in there. And so I think it's pretty important that we get Ghislaine Maxwell in front of Congress to testify, because whatever she did, where they taped her for a couple hours saying that everyone was innocent, including Bill Clinton, Trump, and me, we're all innocent. Okay, now can I have a new place to live and some extra perks? And they just gave it to her right away. But if any Trump supporters actually give a shit about this whole thing, then we need to see Ghislaine Maxwell testify in front of Congress. Okay, that's what I think. All right, love you guys. Talk soon.
I just saw this video of Congresswoman Nancy Mace, same person who denies the Schmepstein list and is a huge supporter. She left a meeting today with victims and she left visibly distraught. Do you think they'll start believing now what we all already know is true?
Today is going to be a big day as we have the victims of Jeffrey Epstein coming out in testimony later today. And as you can see, the testimony is gut-wrenching, horrific, and devastating, as Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina was completely destroyed and gutted. This is not going to be an easy topic, and it's such a shame that MAGA supports Jeffrey Epstein. They are hiding everything from him. They say they're the most transparent admin ever, but yet you made Congress go on recess, so in that way they cannot vote on releasing anything from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Don't sit here and tell me that you are about transparency when you are hiding the corruption. You voted for a president who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. So you guys, we already have a difference of morals and values as a society. Only time will tell what today will bring, but let this be a lesson that you can try your hardest to cover the truth, but it will come out eventually.
Seriously, ladies, I believe that she is receiving this back and forth backlash because now she is making everything about herself. She was supposed to be someone who is like a shoulder to lean on, right? According to some of the people that I staged the video, like she was supposed to be a place of safety, but now she is seen having all the panic attack and trying to cry, making it look like, oh my god, this is so unfair. As if she don't know what this has always been. Like the same person that you are representing, the same person you voted for, the same person you are doing everything for is actually have a background, a questionable background. But you bent on supporting this person, you bent on being on this person's lane. Right about now, you have met with the victims of these Epstein files, and instead of you to give them a hand of support, you are now being so emotional and trying to make everything about yourself. Oh my god, I need some space. I'm having a panic attack. When I saw that stage, you know, I decided to like make other research, which I found out that she used to be a victim, like she was, if it's okay. But another question I ask myself is if yours is as a woman and you have had such an experience, and there's some group of people who have, because it actually takes someone who wore the shoe to know the gravity of what a victim feels. And right about now, you saw, this Epstein list of a thing has been going on for a while right now, but you are not even, given that urge of, oh my God, I really need to fight for this. I really need to fight for this. What is really going on? No, you are not doing that. But all you could do was to just, to continue doing your thing. I heard that you also want to run for governor and all of that. And right about now, you're all feeling emotional breakdown or mental, whatsoever, because you are now seeing the truth in front of you. It is not more a hearsay. It is not more something that, okay, but now you're seeing the truth in front of you. You're feeling so uncomfortable because you know what it means, how it feels to be in a situation. You know how it feels to be in a situation, and now you are all, oh my god, emotional. Like, no, what happened to those people who actually confident in you to share their experience? Like, I thought she was just supposed to be there, like, to calm them down, to, like, to hold herself, But right about now, she's trending. Oh my god, Nancy and all of that. Oh my god, emotional breakdown. Meanwhile, you are still in the midst of these people that contributed. Nobody is pointing fingers. So many people are like, okay, Orange Man is on the list, is now on the list. Okay, but all of the things that's been shown, the indications is showing as if he's there. So many people also is questioning about the former people who were probably, like Obama and the rest. Why is it that they never released the list and all of that if actually Orange Man was on the list? Is this the question? But you know what it is? Politics is politics. But right about now, this Nancy situation is actually a situation of when people that look like me calls out white women tears, you know, everything just have to be all about me. even if I'm going out there to help some people. But at the end of the day, let it just come back to be me. Let it just be all about me, Like, seriously, I actually feel so sorry for her because, in the sense that she has once or twice become, have been a victim before, she is in the best position to understand what these people have gone through. And I heard that these guys are doing everything possible for them not to release this list. And these victims are out to speak out, and I really commend them for that. Like, I am just so proud of them to be able to come out to share it, because if you're unable to share what you've gone through, I don't think you'll be able to heal. And I hope that them sharing it right now, speaking out right now, they are going to heal from all of the trauma they have gone through because of this, thing. Anyway, love this, and just leave us your thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you, love this, and I upload just the next one. Comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Please like this video, share for awareness sake. And I will see you, love this, and I upload the next one.